various kinds of entertainment, including gambling, including other maybe illegal kinds of fun, also developed along with that.
Hot Springs became known as a place to go, you know. If you gotta have medical treatment, go there and have a good time.
Gambling is against the law, but by 1883 there are 7 gambling houses on Central Avenue, all controlled by Frank Flynn, and Hot Springs' tradition of kickbacks to politicians begins. The economy grew, based more and more on drinking and gambling. Town politics became divided by who would control and profit from the illegal activity. But in spite of its reputation, bathers continued to come.
But I think that adds to the charm of the spa, that these things are going on, but yet it's a great place to go. It's fun.
And Hot Springs becomes a serious health treatment center and a thriving cosmopolitan playground for the rich and famous. Film and stage stars, politicians, presidents, prize fighters, and industry giants all come to Hot Springs. The political winds changed back and forth, some politicians vowing to clean up Hot Springs while others turned a blind eye. But on September 5, 1913, a devastating fire destroys nearly 1,000 buildings in the city, leaving more than 2,000 people homeless.
Huge areas of the town were destroyed, but people were always quick to rebuild. And interestingly, it had little impact on people coming to visit. They still came in. They heard about the fire. Well, let's go anyway.
But a flood in 1923, more fires, prohibition, and an anti-gambling administration all contribute to a stagnant economy, leading to a desire for change. The election of 1927 brings a new mayor into office, Leo McLaughlin, and he had a plan.
He says, if I'm elected, we're going to revitalize the downtown area and we're going to open it up. He never did come out and say, we're going to have gambling here, but everybody understood what he was talking about.
And open gambling returns to Hot Springs, but controlled by the new administration.
Let's keep it on a local basis. Do not let foreign money come in here and get control of it, and then first thing you know, we'll be out of it.
McLaughlin encourages Oaklawn Racetrack to begin racing again, and the track voluntarily sends income tax to the state, encouraging the state legislature to legalize betting on the thoroughbreds. And Hot Springs begins once again to flourish, even during the Depression.
Whether we agree with McLaughlin and his machine's tactics, whether we like him and what he stood for, we can't argue with how many improvements took place in the city itself during his time in office.
Hot Springs has been accustomed to entertaining the rich and the famous, as well as the rich and the infamous. Hot Springs becomes a haven for America's underworld. Meyer Lansky, Frank Nitti, Frank Costello, Bugsy Siegel, as well as Al Capone all take in the pleasures of Hot Springs, all with the paid-off blessings of the mayor and the Hot Springs Police Department, much to the chagrin of the FBI. But with pressure from the FBI and various interested law enforcement agencies, the state legislature conducts an inquiry into the corruption in the Spa City. State police began to raid the gambling clubs. Each time, the gamblers are tipped off to the raids.
They'd be shut down, and they could shut down in a hurry.
At the end of World War II, how things work in Hot Springs is controlled by 3 men: Mayor Leo McLaughlin, Municipal Judge Vern Ledgerwood, and Circuit Judge Earl Witt.
So they controlled the court system. They controlled the police system, and they controlled the economy of Hot Springs, because you did not operate a business there without their say-so.
The town catered to wealth and tourists, and that was it. The gambling, the number one thing, and they were corrupt. You wanted to get something, you paid for it.
But returning soldiers under the leadership of Sid McMath decided it was time to challenge Hot Springs' leadership.
Sid McMath was a crusader. Sid McMath wanted the change. He is the one who brought the others into it. He is the one who convinced them that they could make a change.
The GIs put together a slate of candidates to run against the McLaughlin machine in the 1946 Democratic primary. All the GIs lost in the primary except for McMath, who wins the race for prosecuting attorney. But the GIs are encouraged and all run in the general election as independents. McLaughlin's group responds with intimidation.
They'd call us and threaten us, and so just remember you have a young daughter, you know, things like that.
But the GIs weren't to be intimidated, and McMath saw a change coming.
As I was walking along one evening, I walked, I know, for several blocks, and every house, it seemed, had its radio on, and it was loud enough that I could hear who was speaking, and it was me.
The question now before you is whether you are going to govern yourselves in this community, or if you are to be ruled and regulated by McLaughlin in accordance with...
And I said, well, that's encouraging. They've got their radios on, and they not mind if their neighbors hear it. And so I think we've got a chance to win this thing.
The GIs capture 6 of the county's most powerful political positions, leaving McLaughlin and Ledgerwood without their usual control. The casinos quietly close down. Ledgerwood retires, and McMath indicts McLaughlin on 32 counts of corruption. Despite overwhelming evidence, McLaughlin is acquitted, but the machine is crushed. In 2 years, McMath becomes governor, and the pressures mount again for gambling in Hot Springs, but things are kept under wraps until a new governor comes to power in 1954, Governor Orville Faubus, who lets it be known that he will not interfere with local politics. And gambling comes back, bigger than ever, when the town essentially legitimizes gambling by imposing an amusement tax, which helps Hot Springs prosper like never before. New nightclubs are built, bringing in big-name entertainers, and the organized crime figures are back. But new federal laws and a new governor, Win Rockefeller, spell the end of gambling in Hot Springs. Unless you think betting on the horses at Oaklawn is gambling. Hot Springs, the most interesting place in the Ouachita Mountain region.